Good morning, everyone. Please have a seat. Thank you. First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming together this morning, and I see lots of important people in the room. I appreciate our General Assembly members coming over, let's see, Israel O'Quinn, Will Moorfield, Terry Kilgore, Jed Arnold, Travis Hackworth, Bill Stanley. Did I miss anybody? I want to thank you guys. I know you've been living through these storms, and the collective impact of these storms is not just severe, but it is something that so many parts of Virginia have been dealing with for a long time, particularly Southwest Virginia. And as we head into this latest snow event, I know there's a lot of people that haven't recovered from the last one. And so that's what I want to spend some time talking about. The Lieutenant Governor and the Attorney General and I are going to brief in what's happening. And let me just get started with the fact that we are still under a state of emergency. And I cannot be more clear. We declared this now 10 days ago, but I need everybody to understand that the state of emergency continues, and if there wasn't one that had already been declared, I would be declaring one today. The snowstorm that we have coming starting early tomorrow morning is going to be severe. It's going to impact a vast majority of the state. And I just want to make sure that every headline says we are still under a state of emergency. The events over the course of the last week particularly have reminded us that, one, our first responders do an extraordinary job. And the collective team of our emergency management department under John Scrivani, who was our state coordinator, VDOT, the state police, our Virginia National Guard, along with our utility partners, and the amazing men and women from all of the localities have been going around the clock since the very first beginning of snow, which was now 10 days ago. And I want to just highlight that these men and women have not been sleeping. They have given everything they've got, and we're asking for them to put on the boots again and get ready for this major storm coming tomorrow morning. Starting with the ice storm from last week, we had 450,000 power outages across the Commonwealth of Virginia. My friends, we had 315,000 power outages associated with Hurricane Helene. And so we had more power outages across the Commonwealth of Virginia than we had in one of the most intense hurricane events that we've ever dealt with. We reacted quickly across the state, and as of this morning, we had about 2,500 power outages, which is about normal for the state. Between the 450 and the 2,500 today, we peaked back at 200,000 because of the heavy rain and flood events over the weekend. And so our utility partners, along with VDOT and the Virginia National Guard, particularly, who have been aiding in road clearing and access and tree clearing, debris clearing, so that we can get the crews to the down power lines, have done an amazing job. And so this morning, as we head into this next event, it is really important that as many Virginians have power as we possibly can get back online, and we're in good shape this morning. We still are dealing with road closures all across Southwest Virginia, and again, our road closures peaked during the flood event over the weekend at 408 road closures. We're now down to 149, and those are mainly secondary roads. But we still have lots of areas in Southwest Virginia, and particularly Buchanan and Dickinson County, where we just don't have access yet, and that's really serious. And so we've got real work going on there. In advance of the snowstorm, and this snowstorm is going to be serious. It's going to start tomorrow morning, early tomorrow morning at around 2 a.m. in Southwest Virginia and make its way across the state. And so, second big headline, if you are not where you want to be by midnight tonight, don't go. Stay at home and make sure that you have good provisions at home. But I do not want anyone on the roads after midnight tonight. We have to have clear roads across the state so that all of our great VDOT personnel and everyone helping them can do the work of getting cleaned up after this snowstorm. We're expecting a varied degree of snow across the state. There are lots of regions like Northern Virginia, which is going to be on the lower end, at least based on today's forecast. And let's call that 1 to 2 inches. And then we have really heavy snow expected, sadly, again, in Buchanan County and Dickinson County, anywhere from 6 to 12 inches, all the way through the central part of the state, where it's expected to be anywhere between 4 and 6 inches, and then again into Hampton Roads, where we're expecting 6 to 12 inches again. This will be a 24-hour snow event. There may be breaks along the way, but heavy snow for 24 hours. We are deploying serious resources across the state, and that begins with road treatment going on everywhere. And once again, please drive slowly and get out of the way of the vehicles doing this really important work. We're pre-treating roads all across the Commonwealth. The second thing we're doing is repositioning a lot of assets. We had lots of assets that have been deployed into Southwest for both flood and ice issues. We are leaving most of those assets there because of the snow and the continued effort to clean up after the floods. But we are deploying other assets predominantly in central part of Virginia and into Southwest. That includes all of our road treatment equipment, all of the plowing capabilities, and wrecker and accident clearing capabilities. State Police, again, is now surging into their full manning across the state, and the National Guard is deployed. And we will have National Guard troops with capability deployed, yes, remaining in Southwest Virginia, but now moving, yes, Lynchburg in case we have problems on I-81 and the Valley Corridor, but predominantly Richmond, Fredericksburg, and down into Hampton Roads. We are moving resources onto the Eastern Shore because they don't have that many resources to make sure that the Eastern Shore is taken care of. Because again, 6 to 12 inches of snow in this part of Virginia is a lot. The net of it is we feel that we are doing the work necessary to prepare, and we do need our citizens to be as cooperative as possible. And I will repeat, if you are not where you want to be by midnight tonight, please don't go. Stay off the roads tomorrow and let us do our work. This snow is going to be heavy, and therefore we've got to get ready for it. Finally, if there is anyone who is in the emergency management chain, we have been communicating with all the localities and standing up all of the regional emergency centers. We will have our primary center up and running, and the coordination across the state is really, really important. If people have a problem, when Virginia citizens have a problem, the first place they can go very easily is 911. It's such an easy place for you to go. There are local capabilities in order to get to you if you have an issue. But most importantly, we're asking you to stay off the roads, make sure you have provisions at home, and let's let our teams do their work. We can get through this. We've had a very, very busy emergency management season starting last September with Hurricane Helene. What I have recognized is that Virginians are extraordinary. Our first responders are extraordinary. Those that work and clean up afterwards are extraordinary. And so we will get through this, but we're well prepared, and we just need to allow the professionals to do their work, and we need everyone to do what they can to help us. Finally, across the Commonwealth, we have seen one last most important trait, which is Virginians looking after Virginians. And I just want to encourage everyone, check on your neighbors, make sure that you all are staying close, and if somebody has a health emergency or someone feels like they are compromised in their ability to be safe, we'll get help to you. We will get help to you. And so I'm going to hand it over to the Lieutenant Governor for a few minutes. Then the Attorney General is going to go for a few minutes, and we'll come back and take questions. With that, I know the Lieutenant Governor is late. She's got to go preside over the Senate, and so she may sneak out. She may sneak out here quickly after she speaks. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, sir. I hear our legislators saying I should stay, but we have a job to do as well. And I just want to point out once again that, as you've already heard the governor, there is resources deployed throughout the Commonwealth, actually, so that we can be prepared. No sense in waiting for the events to happen, and then we are trying to get through all the obstacles to get to them. So just to let you know that we have been talking with the local responders. I call them first rescuers, and starting, well, Friday when we flew out to see them, and then Saturday throughout the night, I was in touch with the various sheriffs, Grayson and Buchanan in Pulaski and elsewhere all throughout the South, just to find out what was happening, there being the boots on the ground, and to hear that they were actually dealing with, well, they were in water themselves because folks are in water, trying to wait for some of the rivers to crest so that they could get to the people. And then, of course, those grounds that normally flood, of course, they were flooding. And so they said those folks understood that they needed to get to higher ground, and that was a plus. But part of the issue then is, well, we don't want to have our first responders out. We want to be sure that we understand if they're out, then they're coming to rescue. But if they don't have to do that, it doesn't put their lives in danger as well. So there is a two-part issue here. You stay home, they get to stay safe as well so that they can return safe to their families. So if anything, that's what I'd like to leave you with. And I'm just so grateful for all the various personnel who worked and toil, sir, throughout the night to make sure that the rest of us are safe while we are comfortable. So with that, I'd like to, of course, bring to the podium our Attorney General, Jason Miyares.
As one of my friends in Southwest Virginia noted, this is a governor that's proactive, not reactive, and they have never seen a governor as attentive when they face, unfortunately, so often recently, tragic events. We saw with Hurricane Helene's catastrophic flooding. The heart of Southwest Virginia shined through its people, remarkable Virginians as an unbreakable spirit of community, remarkable acts of kindness and resilience. I want to speak just very quickly to something that's very important that's in the purview of the Office of the Attorney General. We like to say we're the people's protector, and that includes protecting Virginians from being exploited during moments of tragedy and national weather events such as this. I'm specifically speaking to the issue of price gouging. My office Consumer Protection Section is obviously one of the busiest in our office, vigorously enforcing laws that protect Virginians, and we want to get the message out to all Virginians that we are ready, willing, and able to assist you if you feel like you're the victim of price gouging. You could simply file a complaint on our website. We will indeed investigate. We have in the past. We will continue in the future. I want to commend the governor for the state of emergency. Once he triggered the state of emergency, that triggers our Virginia anti-price gouging protections, and that is going to be running through a minimum of March 12th unless the state of emergency is further extended. That means that our Office of Consumer Protection can enforce and protect our fellow Virginians and the Virginia Consumer Protection Act. Items and services covered by these protections include, but are not limited to, water, ice, food, generators, batteries, home repair materials, services, heating oil, and tree removal services. Now, the basic test for determining if a price is unconscionable is whether the post-disaster price grossly exceeds the price charged for the same or similar goods or services during the 10 days immediately prior to this disaster. Businesses should not be increasing what they charge during a state of emergency unless they could show their increases as accurately reflect actually increased costs that they have incurred. Give an example. During the last state of emergency here in the city of Richmond, during the water crisis, my office received 19 price gouging complaints, 17 which were specifically regarding the water crisis in Richmond. All of those are ongoing. They're open investigations. I cannot comment. We take all of them quite seriously. I also want to make note for the public Complaints should be reported to the investigation of our Consumer Protection section. They can make a simple phone call, 1-800-552-9963, 1-800-552-9963, or go to our website, ag.virginia.gov, that's ag.virginia.gov, or email us at consumer@oag.state.va.us. We ask that you put it in writing, the culprit, as much identifying information as possible, the time, place, and manner, and the item that you suspect they are being the victim of being gouged, so our office can immediately get a hold of it. If it is a gasoline or motor fuel prices, that should be reported to the Virginia Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. The Commonwealth of Virginia continues to mobilize our resources, working with our local leaders, our incredible first responders and the volunteers. And as the governor noted, Virginians helping Virginians. We will get through this storm. We always have, but it's going to take all of us together, and we stand ready to assist. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you. Super. So let me just reiterate. One, we are under a state of emergency. Second of all, if you haven't gotten to where you want to get to by midnight tonight, stay where you are. And third, if you need help, call for it. We will get somebody to help you between local resources and state resources. And finally, let's help our neighbors and let's look out for one another, because that's what we do best as Virginians. I appreciate everybody's attention, and I'm happy to take a few questions if anybody has any from our friends in the back. Yeah, hi, Dave. Yeah, so I'm going to start with the Guard. And so we have more guardsmen that are being called up. We're leaving one of our Guard deployments in Southwest Virginia, and then we are now deploying guardsmen into Lynchburg in order to take care of the valley. But then we will have guardsmen deployed into the greater Richmond area, onto the Eastern Shore, into Hampton Roads, and then also in Southside and Emporia. And that puts guardsmen with vehicles, both Humvees and larger transport vehicles that have the great capacity of getting anywhere, anytime, in place. They not only have all of the transportation capability, but they also have debris removal capability. So that's our Guard. And I just want to thank our Virginia National Guard team. General, thank you for your great attention here. They bring not only extraordinary capabilities, but confidence. We know that to everyone. From a state police standpoint, all of our state police now are on their 24-hour shift notice. That means everybody's working. And we, in addition to bringing everybody on, are moving some resources into the Hampton Roads and Greater Richmond area, which is where we think the heaviest snow is going to happen. And those areas tend to not get heavy snow, and so they are needing some extra resource. And then from a VDOT standpoint, we have surged in a 40% increase into the Hampton Roads area, particularly with trucks and plows, just given the fact that we do expect that area to be most impacted. I want to say that we've had other states very generously offer to support us during this period, and we're staying in contact with them in case we need even more. And I particularly want to thank Governor Kemp in Georgia. South Carolina and North Carolina are expecting to see the same storm, as is Tennessee. And what happens in these circumstances is states help states. And I just want to thank everybody for being willing to do that. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, no, thank you. So we did make a formal request for an accelerated declaration of emergency from the federal government. They have received that. I have spoken to the new FEMA administrator. I've spoken to Secretary Noem. I've actually spoken to the White House Chief of Staff, and they are processing that request for an accelerated emergency declaration, and they are supportive. There is a certain amount of damage assessment that needs to be submitted along with that, and the teams are working hard on that. Of the road closures that I discussed, so many of those roads are still underwater, and therefore the assessment has to wait until the water recedes. And so individual home damage, of course, public facility damage and road damage we are assessing now. I was hoping to get all that done this week. This snowstorm is going to interrupt that process, and so we've got people moving from damage assessment now to snow duty, and we'll pick that up as soon as we can. I have to say the response from the Trump administration has been extraordinarily cooperative, and I know we'll get that done. It's just a matter of getting through this storm right now. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Well, there are a lot of Virginians also concerned about losing their jobs under the federal cuts. What is your message to them that you've spoken with the White House about?
Yeah, so let me just back up. If I can I come back to that in a minute? I know there's a lot of anxiety there, and I'll come back to that in a minute. Anything else about the storm? Yes, sir.
I was going to say that for the Attorney General, I know you probably can't get into specifics regarding the gouging cases in general. What sort of items that you're dealing with in these cases and how much of an increase we're seeing?
Well, I think it is primarily water, ice, food, generators, battery, home repair materials, heating oil, tree removal services. Those are the type of items that primarily in the past, when we have a major hurricane or weather event, those are the type of items that overwhelmingly come through our office.
And I would just add, when we are in a state of emergency like this, it is a time to help one another, not pursue extraordinary profit. And let's go to work and help one another. And the Attorney General is standing ready in order to make sure that legally people don't violate this. But I'm just making an absolute call that Virginians helping Virginians means not to undertake price gouging at a moment when people need supplies and they need help. And at a time we should be offering it to them. So, great. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, thank you. So we've been working with local government to make sure that the homeless shelters are, one, open, and of course advertised, and we're just checking now on backup power supplies. We've pre-positioned substantial supplies of bottled water and provisions, so meals, into Richmond. From Richmond, we can get quickly down to Hampton Roads, and we've left very large provisions in Southwest. So I think it's a really important comment, and the local government has been doing a very good job of communicating to folks that may be homeless. This is where the shelters are. Please come. And that's really, really important. So thank you. Yes?
Does the state have any assurance or personnel at the water treatment plant in Richmond? Again, like the last one is what happened in January?
Yeah, thank you. So we've been in our Office of Drinking Water out of the state, has not only been in touch consistently, almost hourly, with the water treatment facility here in Richmond, but all of the water utilities and municipal resources across the state. We still have, I think 15 or more areas in Southwest Virginia that are under a drinking water advisory left over from the weekend floods. And so that's why we've got big water provisions in those areas, but we also are working to support to make sure that if there are challenges, we can't go fix their water system for them, but we can quickly move in with power resources and expertise, and of course provisions for people that may not have water. When you go through the hierarchy of issues in an emergency response, and in particularly a storm like this, number one is to prepare to make sure that lives aren't endangered, and that's road closure, that's road treatments, plow services to get the routes open. It's to make sure that telecommunications is up as reliably as possible and as fast, to make sure that power stays on or is recovered as quickly as we can. Once we get through that, then we make sure that we've got provisions of water and food, and also warm, safe places for people to go if they don't have it themselves. This is an all-hands moment to make sure that we're hitting all of those areas. And again, the collaboration from local leadership has been spectacular as we prepare for this. And then my last request for everyone is just pray that this storm blows out. We prayed over it this morning. Lord, move this storm out, have it drop no snow, and then we get to talk about the fact that we over-prepared, and that was the worst thing that happened this week. So, any more? Yeah, I'll come back. So, first of all, broadly speaking, the anxiety from many Virginians over the concerns about their employment with the federal government is real. And I've spoken to lots of people, and I think we first need to recognize that this process that the federal government is going through is one that is needed because of the inefficiency and bloat of the federal government. And second of all, the American voters, in fact, supported it and continue to. But with that said, this isn't about the workers who I know are really, really, really scared. This is about stepping back and making sure that tax dollars are being appropriately managed and deployed. And yet that is not any way to help people deal with the real concerns and anxiety that they have. And therefore, what we are doing at the state level is preparing to provide as much support as we possibly can for folks that may in fact find their employment disrupted and may be in a position where they're looking for something else. And I have to say that this workforce, which is talented and deep and experienced, is part of Virginia. And so we want to make sure that first they know that we understand, and second of all, we're here to help them. There's lots of opportunities in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and those opportunities can be met by so many of these people. And first and foremost, I just want them to know that we will have the ability to support them through any job dislocation. And then finally, I do believe that it is a real fear that people have about losing their jobs. I would ask the media to not inflame it. There is a spending pause and review that has been going on to make sure that what's being spent is being spent on things that are productive and in line with the administration's priorities. Many of those have been conducted and released. Many are ongoing. And so I would also ask the media to not inflame these concerns with concerns around areas that really aren't substantial. There's been a number of folks who have come out and unfortunately scared people unnecessarily. And that I do not want to diminish the anxiety and the concerns that I know so many Virginians have. But I also don't want to unnecessarily concern people who are worried about their medical benefits if they're part of our veteran community, which are not going to be interrupted. We don't need to concern people with those types of issues. And so I would just ask everyone to let's work with facts. Let's work with circumstances that I know we can support people with. And let's recognize that Virginians are concerned, and that as governor, I want to be there to support them and help them through this process.
Thank you all so much.
Great. Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Greg.
I'm going to come back to you on that, okay? Because, Greg, I want to communicate it in a good package, and so we're going to have a good one for you. We'll talk to you about it, okay?